Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining me again. Nigeria, here we come. Monaco and Cannes are looking quite unlikely now, aren't they? So we'll talk a little bit about that as well. Firstly, I'd like to thank all of you for joining us on the live. I think it was a couple of days ago now. And I would like to thank all of the guests, Glinda the Good, Michelle Pope, right? Michelle, don't get the Michelles confused, because there was another Michelle who has been active on Twitter. Now, troll, sugar, however you look at that Michelle, not Michelle Pope, who was on it towards the end, I'd also like to say thank you, because I think she's got cojones to come up and to talk to me and Trevor, and I take my hat off to her. I salute her, because she's got bigger balls than a lot of the men that have been going out there giving it a load of yap. She has got balls, that girl. Maybe I'll invite her up again one day if she wants, and we can continue this, and I might just let her talk, and then you can all hear whatever she has to say. And also, because trolls, you know, they like to post a load of lies. Whoever has a troll, we all have trolls of different natures, different places, and that's a big thing that people like to do, is just to post complete utter lies. So I did it to her. Now, she does have a record. Someone sent it to me actually, but I haven't read it. I'm not really interested in her background checks and stuff. You know, I'm not into doing that kind of thing to people. But I knew from the Duchess of Sussex previous live that she had a breaking and entering or something like that. And I did see that she had explained it was not a burglary. It was some sort of, I don't know, domestic dispute, you know, something like that. I don't know the backstory and I don't care. But I did notice that it irritated her somewhat for people to say she was a burglar, because she's not. So I deliberately called her a burglar, just so she could have a little taste of what it's like. Because any of you who see what's being posted on X, 99.9999 stuff about all of the YouTubers is complete lies. If you want to see liars, go and have a look at my X account, where I found an old email, and you'll see one of the biggest liars. Anyway, we're not here to talk about that, but I did feel credit where credit is due. Sugar or otherwise, I have invited lots of sugars up on lives, and nobody's had the balls. They all hide behind their little anonymous keyboards. Not this girl, who is also called Michelle. Not her. I know what she looks like. She doesn't hide her identity. It's all out there. So I do give her credit where credit is due. I'd also like to just point out there's another channel called The Fitness Hutch, and the guy who runs it is called Paul. Now, he's been getting it in the neck from the trolls because there is someone else here on this channel, one of the followers, Paul 2, hello Paul 2, who posts on this channel. And for some reason or other, the person behind the troll account at Atlanta has taken it into their mind that that is Paul from The Fitness Hutch. Now, again, he doesn't strike me as the type of guy who needs to hide behind an anonymous account to say stuff if he wants to say stuff. And also, Paul 2, hello, who is in the live chat and comments on here, did actually post something about Paz49, which isn't correct. I don't believe that's correct. He said that Paz49 had a previous channel that was taken down, has created the new and current one, and is ban evading on YouTube. That's not the case. That's not the case. Now, Paz49 may be many things, but I've heard him explain on more than one occasion, way before this, that he did have a channel before and he deleted it himself, and then he started the new channel. I think he had 40-odd thousand on it. Can't remember his reason for deleting the previous channel. So although I don't like or approve of a lot of things, I will not have people accused of things that they have not done or that are not true. Right, let's get into Nigeria. Oh my goodness me. I was on X last night, not with trolls, and the memes have started already. You can just imagine. In fact, Jesus Enrique Rosas posted something that was just too funny for words. You know when we all get those Nigerian emails? You know, dear sir, madam, I want to give you my, you know, $100 million and just give me your bank details. You know, those, it's along those lines. So if you're on X, check out the Royal Rogue. He got that is that channel, Jesus, the fabulous Jesus Enrique Rosas. I thought that was hilarious. And there was something that somebody else posted. Now, I've got it up here, and I can actually well believe this. What I'm about to read out to you may or may not be true, but it is on X. Personally, I can well believe this. I can actually well believe this, but that does not necessarily mean that it's true. So if Harry and Meghan or any of their friends happen to be watching this, or any of you, take it with a pinch of salt. It's just, it strikes me as quite close to the truth. So I'll read it out to you, and you can always go over to X and I will read out the Twitter accounts to give them credit. Royally Sage posted this, which is @Sage1411, and they posted something that somebody else, now I don't know if this person had posted this on Twitter or another platform, because it's not like a retweet, it's like a screenshot from someone called Secondhand Coke. Now, the reason they posted this is because Secondhand Coke appears to be some sort of a mole, you know, like a blind item, someone who's in the know. But it might not be. It might be just someone making up a load of stuff and putting it out there. I have no idea. I've never come across these accounts before, but I did find it interesting, and I am going to read it out to you now. They say, I don't think it will take that long. Meghan is in a bad place because she just wants to initiate, divorce, jump into bed, and then bank account of some other wealthy but unsuspecting fool. But she can't. I've heard the palace stands firm on not sending child support for the children or in any way taking on Harry's financial responsibilities. Harry's inheritance from Diana is fair game because he invested it in joint enterprises, the Garish house, Archwell, etc. But she can't touch the Queen Mum's inheritance due to divorce law in California. If that inheritance even exists, I hear conflicting stories on it all the time. I'm just doing a video, Ben. This is incredible. He doesn't live with us anymore, and he turns up. We haven't seen him for days. And he turns up, he's psychic, I tell you. Now, the part about the Queen Mum's inheritance, I've heard Princess Anne's in control of it and had increased the age at some sort of trust fund or something like that. So I don't know the complications or anything to do with the Queen Mum's bit. But then it goes on. That house has been on the market for 2 to 3 years and they can't unload it. Archwell has essentially no backing, as we've seen. She can't find a new rich man. I can well believe that. And she can't financially stand on her own. She's really hoping and believing that Arrow will take off, and they are brazenly doing these appearances to A, behave as if they are half in, half out royal work, even though they're 100% out, and B, to try to generate some kind of goodwill to drive buyers to her brand. Harry wants to go home, she wants out, but they FAFO, I'm not familiar with that acronym, and now they're going down together. Make what you will of that. I will put a link in the description so that you can go and have a look at my X account, and then you'll see all the tweets as well. You don't have to have an X account to go and look at the tweets. You can just see for yourselves. I've reposted some of the memes of Meghan, just the thought of Meghan visiting Nigeria on some sort of fake royal tour. I mean, it really reminds me of the Wallace and David, and they did the fake royal tour after he'd abdicated, and they went and hung out with Hitler, didn't they, and some of the other Germans. Whatever the perspective there is, I know some people have said that he was a Nazi supporter. He could have been thinking he would try and broker peace and somehow get the throne back. I really don't know. I'm not an expert on the subject, and I have not read the books on him. I think there was one called Traitor King. Haven't read that yet. Lady Colin Campbell's book, the new version, finally arrived yesterday. So I have been getting on with that. And I've got to say, it's actually a very different style to the first book. I know it's a big update, but I mean, she just goes straight into it. She gets straight to the nitty gritty immediately. And I love that. Because I'm not so interested in Meghan's childhood. I did want to know stuff about Northwestern University and find out if any particular rumours were true about why she eventually went to Argentina, and if there was a deal that she had to leave Northwestern until certain other people had finished and then come back. I don't know. So I wanted to know that. I didn't find any mention of that. But there's a mention of lots of other things. She talks about the tiaras, the emerald tiara that Eugenie wanted and did have for her wedding. But she does also mention the Vladimir, because I have always felt that Meghan, I can imagine Meghan saying she wants the tiara. Eugenie's wedding had to be put back for Meghan and Harry because he was senior then. He certainly isn't now. But to want her tiara as well, I can imagine that. But I don't think that would have been her first pick. I think her first pick was always the Vladimir tiara, which is only worn by queens or queens in waiting. It's as good as a crown. It's not a tiara. Well, I mean, let's see what Meghan... I'm actually quite looking forward to this Nigerian tour. I don't know about... Come on, admit it secretly. A lot of you are. You know it's going to be a dog's breakfast. It's bound to be. I just can't imagine what she's going to wear. I can't imagine how she's going to behave. I can't imagine what she's going to... Well, I can, but then it's usually worse than I imagined. A lot of you in the comments the other day when I suggested in my imagination perhaps she goes to the Cannes Film Festival or and then the Grand Prix, and mix with the rich and famous. I mean, there's a lot of yachts down there at that time of year. That's naughty. I shouldn't say that. Perhaps she doesn't want to bump into old friends. Or maybe, as a lot of you pointed out, Prince Albert was like, no way. Although I don't think he's actually got the power to refuse entry to Monaco. I'm not sure it's quite like that. And maybe she was fearful she wouldn't be invited to anything down there. I really don't know. But and then I read another article today written by a lady of colour who says they're anti-monarchist and they're very pro-Meghan Markle. And they really don't seem to understand why people don't like her or don't like the dishonesty, the contradictions, the hypocrisy, the treatment of families. They just don't seem to get any of that. A lot of anti-monarchists don't seem to get that because anti-monarchists tend to focus on pure economics. They seem to think, get rid of the royal family and give all the money to the poor. Well, it'd be gone in a second. And then what? So they don't think it through like that. It's like it seems to me either very youthful or very, if they're not youthful anti-monarchists, they're very naive people who seem to think that sort of economics works. Anyway, so she's sort of saying, oh look, all these monarchists, people like ours who are apparently hard right wing, and I'm not any particular wing one way or the other, I might say there's something on the left, oh that's a good idea, and something on the right, oh that's a good idea, I don't know what I am, but this lady seems to lump us all in, we're all bastards, racist bastards, and doesn't seem to realise where the criticism comes from, where the fascination comes from. So this person is saying that the Nigerian tour is going to be an enormous success, which I'm pretty certain it's not. It's just going to be a disaster. But I don't criticise Meghan for wanting to earn a living. For God's sake, people, we got to give the girl that. She's got to pay the rent. So, I mean, sooner or later, she's got to find something that works, that's not clinging to the royal family. She sustained herself before by having the part on Suits. And her Instagram idea, I mean, it's quite kind of hopeless. But at least she's trying to do something to stand on her own 2 feet. If she could do it without leaning on the titles or left, right and centre, all the better. So, I mean, this lady says, oh, you people won't be happy till she's gone, wiped off the face of the earth, never to be thought of again. No, I don't think anybody feels like that at all. I've had sugars on my own X account. Whether you've got an X account or not, you can go to the link on mine and you can read them. And they accuse me of all sorts of things. There's one in particular who accuses me of going around accusing people that they've got criminal records. No, I think you'll find that's my troll that accuses literally everybody of having a criminal record, and especially me. And no, I don't have a criminal record, and I never have. I have a reputation, I have a Daily Mail historical title, but that is a different thing, isn't it? Anyway, lots to think about and talk about there. Pop on over to X. It's quite safe to pop over and look. You don't have to have an account. Then you can come back here and tell me what you think. Because some of the memes, they should be in the Tate gallery. Tate Modern, perhaps. They are definitely worth it. And I'm sure that the month of May will not disappoint any of us. I'm sure there will be plenty for us to watch, look, laugh, criticise, possibly praise. You never know. Probably not. Anyway, thank you very much for listening, and I'll see you in the comments below.